But it was wonderful. It couldn't have been more beautiful.
I'm willing to respond to the challenge in spite of the frustrations and almost unnerving experience sometimes.
We have to have something to reflect on and something to enjoy.
Welcome to Elder Wisdom, Stories from the Green Bench. I'm Erin Davis. So glad you've joined us because today we're very pleased to be bringing you what we think is a special episode. As I and my co-host Doug Robinson, who is himself a resident at Village of Sandalwood Park in Brampton, get to sit on our virtual bench and talk with Anna Piccoli, who lives with her husband Aldo at the Village of Glendale Crossing in London, Ontario. And helping Anna today is her daughter, Franca Smith. It is a perfect way to continue our theme of connection, family, and service, what Schlegel Village's retirement and long-term care residences are all about. So if you're ready, we're ready. Andiamo. Let's go. Well, I guess the way to start this would be to say benvenuta.
Benvenuti.
To both of our guests today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Franca, for being here, and Anna as well.
Yeah.
So nice to have you here. Ciao, Bella.
Ciambella.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
I do something look like ciambella. Nice, AIP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can only imagine how lovely you are at 92,
Thank
living
you.
there at the Village of Glendale Crossing with your husband, Aldo.
Yeah,
How
Aldo.
many years are you married?
62.
Wow. That's amazing. And, of course, we're hearing, Doug, from Franca. Franca is one of Anna and
Frankie
Aldo's...
is the second one.
Yes?
Yeah.
I'm the second daughter. Yep.
I got another one. 3 girl.
3 girls.
3 girl. Oh, yeah.
And how many grandchildren, Nona?
Grandchildren, 6.
Beautiful.
And 2 grade.
Whoa.
I'm a grandma nonna.
Fieri. You are proud, yes?
Thank you.
Yes, she is very proud. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I like here.
Uh-huh, you do, yes. And your sister lives there, too.
Yeah, my sister Josephine, yeah.
Yeah, they just lived right down the hall from each other, which is fantastic.
We got close, yeah.
Who is older?
My sister?
Yeah, Josephine is older.
Josephine, 98.
Whoa!
June finished 98.
Yeah, in June, yeah.
And me, 92.
Doug, do you have something you'd like to ask?
Yes, before I start, come sta bene, Franca and Anna.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Now, your English is really quite wonderful, Anna, as we are hearing.
I love everybody.
Oh!
Especially my children, my grandchildren. Yeah, and nobody smoke.
And nobody smokes. She always adds that.
Oh, yeah.
That's very important. And undoubtedly, part of the reason, Franca, that your mom is 92 and her sister Josephine 98 is, am I safe to assume that neither of them smoked?
Yes, that's right.
Never smoke.
Anna, you left Italy before Aldo, but he came running after you.
Yeah, the same town.
Yeah, he came running after you. You must have been quite the looker.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You're a beautiful lady.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dad followed you to Canada because you were beautiful.
Yeah. He's come from Italy 2 years. One year after me.
Wow.
Yeah. And we married here.
Yeah, so Mom came to Canada to live with her sister Josephine, who also lives here.
4 years.
And Josephine and her husband Tony bought the first home in the family. So they actually welcomed a lot of family and friends from Italy. They had several families that took turns living in their place. That was the first place that they lived in. So my mom moved there, but just before she moved, My dad was quite interested in dating her, and he had been in a previous marriage. His first wife passed away quite young. They lost 3 young babies, and so about 8 or 9 years after he lost his first wife, it was actually his first mother-in-law whose name is Maria. She wanted to match the two of them up. She wanted him to get on with his life and have a wife and kids. She really encouraged him to, even though he didn't feel he was ready to do that. She really wanted him to have a good life and move on. So she left to come here, and they wrote each other for about a year. And then he was urging her to come back so that they could date and eventually get married. And she convinced him to move here. And how long was Dad here before you two got married?
1 year and 3 months.
When you were here 1 year and 3 months. How long after Dad came to Canada did he marry you?
We married right away.
Right away?
23 April.
23rd of April. Yeah.
So they got married right away as soon as Aldo came to join Anna in Canada.
Yeah, because the government say, well, he's married right away. Because sometimes come some people when married, pick up another one.
Ooh.
Lots of people before leave that girl when married. They're not married anymore. Mm-hmm. That's why I say, well, this month you married.
Good. So, Anna, why did you choose Canada to begin with? Why did Josephine and Tony choose Canada?
Well, 1 year Josephine got here. Mm-hmm. Make application for me, just for me.
Yes.
After me, I waited 2 years at that time.
So I think that Uncle Tony and Aunt Josephine moved to Canada because there were a lot of job opportunities.
Yeah, do the application for me. Well, for the brother.
Tony's brother lived here first.
Yeah, lived here.
And then that brought Tony and Josephine here, and then they eventually bought their first house and welcomed other people into their home.
And this was in the London, Ontario area, Franca, or somewhere a little more far-flung?
In the London, Ontario area.
Okay. And is it true that after everybody sort of had their assimilation, if you will, once they landed in the London, Ontario version of the family's Ellis Island, that they eventually all kind of bought houses in the neighborhood too?
Yeah, that's correct. We all grew up about a block from each other.
Oh.
And their house actually is still in the family. My son owns it now. My mom's 2 sisters, Josephine and Rosa, both lived on the same street. And then we were just 1 block over from them. So we used to walk over and visit all the time.
So it makes sense then that these families who grew up all so close and so tight in this same neighborhood in London, and now you have Anna and her husband and her sister all living together there at the village of Glendale Crossing. The family never really lost touch, and that's such a beautiful thought.
Yeah.
Yes, and we always celebrated holidays together, Christmas, Easter, birthdays, anniversaries, and they would take turns at each other's houses to host them. And Josephine and Tony never did have children of their own. And so my 2 sisters and I and my 2 cousins who also lived on their street, the 5 of us were just like their kids. We were that close.
That was going to be my question, Franca. Mm-hmm. At Christmas time, did all the family get together? And what was the biggest table you had at Christmas sitting round?
Yes, all 3 homes had big, very large tables. Aunt Josephine had a very large dining room, and we would all gather in there. Aunt Rose, who is deceased now but lived on the same street, she had a huge dining room as well. We would sometimes add another table to the end of it. And then my parents, had a kitchen and large dining room in what most people would call their rec room downstairs.
Room, yeah.
They each had 2 kitchens and a large eating space in their basements as well.
Anna,
Yeah.
what was your favourite meal to cook?
Oh, everything, lasagna.
Oh,
Lasagna?
We do lasagna. We do the pasta, no?
Pasta.
We do the sagnatelle. We put on a hot water, 1 each. A little bit of salt. A nice sauce.
They, my mom and dad both were excellent cooks, and everything was made from scratch. And they made the best lasagna, and the noodles were homemade.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I do.
You're making my mouth water.
I do here too. When I come, Jessica, I don't know. And I go to the kitchen, say, okay, it's up to you. I make a pizza, everything.
Yeah, so when Jessica was working on this floor as a recreation coordinator, she did have them do some cooking. They cooked some pasta and some pizza.
Yeah. One
Homemade
day
dough.
we do polenta. You know polenta?
Oh, love polenta with cornmeal.
Big
Yes.
thing. Everybody tastes the polenta. I do the sauce. Everybody, yeah, like very much. Say, do again.
It was so
kidding.
delicious, and I have fond memories of, like, on the weekends on a Sunday morning, my mom and dad would make polenta and homemade sausages, and it was just the best combination.
Before lots of polenta.
In the movie The Godfather, when they're making spaghetti sauce, they turn around and says, you have to put sugar in the spaghetti sauce. Do you do that, Anna?
I not put the sugar, just the salt.
Just salt, no sugar?
Because it come sweet, you know.
My parents never did put sugar in their sauce. I do know of some people who do, but
coffee, yes, and
but they didn't.
Yeah, but no, never I put the sugar, no.
How about desserts? Like cannoli?
We didn't really. The sweets that my mom would make often are pizzella. They're made like almost like a waffle iron. They're called pizzella. And there was another one. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Faceva come le cicce tonde.
E dopo che cercate.
That's a mouthful.
One at a time.
I bet it is.
Yeah, and I don't know how to translate that, but
with honey, you know.
They were like little balls, and they would put them together, and she would make this big round,
Because it's sticky.
almost like a bundt cake type of shape, but they were all held together with honey. And it was really sweet and really delicious, but I wouldn't be able to translate the name of it. It's a tricky one.
That's okay. That's okay. I remember having a girlfriend when I was in high school. Her name was Marta Nespoli. And when we went to her house, it always smelled delicious. Franca, you must have been one of the more popular kids on the street when it came time to bringing home kids for lunch or for supper. What was it like growing up in a multicultural area, being that Italian household where friends wanted to come over? Did you find yourself being the heart of the neighborhood for that reason? Or tell us about your upbringing.
Well, first of all, it was an amazing upbringing, and our friends always appreciated my parents' cooking. I could really relate to the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yes.
When she talks about going to school and everybody's got their white Wonder Bread sandwiches and so on, and she's eating baklava, which is so different than nobody's heard of it. Nobody has tasted it before. It's something like just really out of the ordinary and a little bit strange. I usually went home for lunch anyway because we were close by, but our food was very different than my Canadian friends' food. And in a way, it was a little bit embarrassing because I wanted this sense of belonging and to be like my friends.
Yeah, you just wanted the brown paper bag or the lunchbox or something. Just give me the same stuff in a baggie that everybody else had with a wagon wheel.
Exactly, and then that way they wouldn't ask me what on earth I'm eating.
Right.
But, so on that part of it, it was a little bit embarrassing. But as I got older, I began to really, really have appreciation for it. When I saw the reaction of friends and family that would come over, especially friends who hadn't had that type of food before. And they were just like so appreciative of how wonderful the food was. And they would ask questions like, how do you make this? I want to learn how to make it. Mm-hmm. So we were a little bit spoiled that our parents were both good cooks and they could easily make it. And we were exposed to it on a daily basis. But it was when my friends would come over and ask those questions that I realized how lucky we were.
Yeah, in a lot of families, exotic food was a different flavor of shake and bake. So,
yes.
Yeah. There's a saying, il pane apre tutte le bocche. Does that make any sense to you, that bread opens all mouths? And pardon me, mi dispiace if I got the pronunciation wrong here. But
you said it very, very well, and I totally understood it. My Italian certainly is not perfect. And you enunciated that better than I could, but I totally. It is true. It is true.
That if you want to get to know somebody, invite them to eat with you. Good food can bring good conversation. I just love that.
Yeah, before we got lots of people, especially in the basement, because upstairs we got a smaller kitchen, you know. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we eat in a dining room, not too bad. Yeah. But most of the time we go downstairs because we got a big room. But now no cook anymore. I'm here. Just I got the crochet. Everybody one shawl for me.
Yeah, she's making scarves and shawls for people.
Yeah, nice. Everybody, do for me, I give it the lana. You know, lana?
The yarn, yeah. Everybody gives her yarn.
Yeah, everybody give those.
So she can crochet something for them.
Nice.
I got the crochet. I do with the crochet, no with...
Yeah, she doesn't knit, but she crochets.
I do big blanket. Mm-hmm. One girl, Rina, she take. Oh, she wonderful, big, on a bed, you know, put on a bed.
Nice, yeah. Nice.
And I do everything with the crochet.
So you're still creating and sharing your love and your talents with people, even if you don't have the house with the two kitchens.
I like to do something. I got the book for color.
Coloring books?
Yeah. I color lots of things. I color.
Yeah, she has a whole wall full of the pictures she's colored. They're really beautiful.
No, gardener, yeah.
I happen to be a visual artist, and a lot of people ask me where I got that from, and I wasn't really sure until my mom moved here and started to color and crochet. She didn't have time to do those things before, and now she does, and it's just wonderful to see her enjoying that.
Franca?
Yes.
I have on my tablet the painting that you did of your father and the one with the windows. You're a very, very talented lady.
Well, thank you.
I thought they were beautiful. Could you tell us something about the art show Home and Away?
Yes. That was several years ago. I was teaching art classes from my home and through the City of London at the time. And one of my students, Diane McClure, came up with this idea. She comes from a Ukrainian and German background, and she knew I came from an Italian background, so we would often talk about our nationalities and the way we were brought up. So when she came up with this idea of Home and Away, she asked me if I would be kind of an assistant and do it with her. And her idea was to ask some local artists to do some artwork that had something to do with either where they came from, well, certainly where they came from, and what brought them to Canada and their experience, and then which felt like home and which felt like away. And so I myself, and I think about around 35 artists contributed.
Wow.
And we each came up with a one-page story, and we talked about our experiences, and we also had some visual art, mostly paintings, but also some sculptures. And so when we showed them at a local gallery, we displayed the story beside the artwork, so people could walk around, look at the artwork, read our personal stories, and then everything was put together in a book.
Very, very interesting.
Thank you.
Is the book available anywhere, Franca?
Yes. Diane actually has some copies left, if anybody is interested. And
who is Diane?
Diane McClure. And I can, if you contact me, I can certainly get some copies. But she's the one who orchestrated this whole thing.
Wonderful.
Franca, is there one important lesson that a close-knit family has taught you?
Well, I mean, family comes first. Everything revolves around family and food. Everything that my parents, when they still lived at home, everything revolved around mealtime as much as possible. That was when we could sit down and talk about our day and spend time together. My biggest takeaway is that family is everything, and to always be respectful towards your elders.
That was something I was always taught too.
Yes, yeah.
A very important lesson, that one.
Absolutely. You know, many of us take each other for granted, and when you learn especially about where they came from and what they have been through to get us to where we are, it's really quite amazing.
Getting to where they've come from, Anna, you grew up during the war. We've been talking about food aplenty. Was food scarce during the war?
So during the war, was there very much food?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember the war. I'm 14 years old.
Yeah, she was 14. When the war came, your family had to run away.
Yeah, and the house go down because the Germany, boom, 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 everything go down. The house we no got. And we live 13 years and we got a big house on the land.
Yeah, so what happened was they were being invaded by the Germans, and they had to leave their homes. The homes in the city were being bombed.
I grew up.
Yeah, so they left. They had a place in the country where they grew their food, and they had, some kind of a small
big
cottage there. By the way, they took off through the night in the dark through the woods and walked for miles and miles to escape. And so when the German soldiers came, do you remember that?
When the Germany come, my friend cook a big pan the sausage, bread, eat, no more kill us.
Oh.
Yeah,
because he eat
she cooked
good.
For them, hoping that they wouldn't kill them.
Okay, I know, do nothing for you.
But my uncle was with them, guiding them, and the soldiers didn't know that my uncle understood German. And he heard the German soldiers saying, making a plan. Yeah, they were making a plan that they would stay for the night. They would eat their food. These young ladies, young teenage girls, would clean for them, and then they would have their way with them, and then they would kill them.
Oh.
So my uncle heard all that and understood it, but they didn't know that he understood. So when he had a chance to tell the girls what was going on.
See,
they made a secret plan
she
to escape
remembered
that
everything,
night.
Yeah.
That was a scary moment for you.
Oh, yeah, lots of scare. But at 7 o'clock
Very scary.
the morning, we got over there. Lots of people. Oh, but another thing, we sleep in la paille, come si dice, la paille?
Yes, they slept in
Down
the hay.
Down the stairs.
In the basement.
It was a man, yeah.
Yeah, they went from home to home looking for a place to stay. But there were so many people coming, they didn't have much room for them, so they slept in the hay.
We are alive, in a way, yeah.
Can I share my scary moment?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was 6 years old, and I had to sleep on the subway station platform.
Oh,
the Germans were dropping bombs on us. And in the morning when I got up, we didn't know if our home was going to be there or not.
Oh, boy.
That's so scary, so scary.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that time is scary because my father not there. He's coming back in July. Everything okay, he's not die. Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness.
And my mom lived 104 years.
Wow.
Half because he's died, my father died with heart attack, 84. Second sister died at 84, the same.
And there you are at 92, and you have a sister older with you
yeah.
there.
One more thing I'd like to add is that my parents obviously grew up quite poor and didn't have a lot of food, and so they learned to save at a very early age.
Oh, yeah.
And to this day they're not they've never been one for having to have the biggest house or the fanciest car or any of that, and they raised us that way. But still to this day they would just give anything they have to their children, to their family and friends. I mean, they would just do anything for you and sacrifice anything for you. And that was something special to grow up with.
We cook potato on the stove. Mm-hmm. Because we not got a lot to eat, but we do, it'll be okay.
Yeah, what little you have, you share. And that is wonderful. Mm-hmm. Well, we do hope to have a conversation with you again before too long, and it has been just such an honor to share in your life, your cooking, your heart, your family, the connection of family that continues to this day, and we are just so very grateful. Congratulazioni. Congratulazioni.
Very good.
We did it.
Thank you.
Congratulazioni.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug, and thanks so much for joining us on The Green Bench. Share your thoughts and opinions on social media using #ElderWisdom to help everybody find us on this green bench. And if you would, take a moment to rate and review the Elder Wisdom podcast. Go to www.elderwisdom.ca to find the link. And we'll be sure and let you know just as soon as we have a new episode for you. With Season 2 now under our belts, we'll be back in June with Season 3 and our fresh focus on health, support, and caregiving. On behalf of Doug Robinson, I'm Erin Davis. Thank you for your time, and we'll talk to you again soon. Your seat on the green bench is ready and waiting.
Elder Wisdom, Stories from the Green Bench, is brought to you by Schlegel Villages, a complete continuum of care, offering independent living to long-term care, celebrating and honoring the wisdom of the elder. To learn more about us, please go to our website, schlegelvillages.com.